All right. Good evening, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here with High Seas Cruising. And it looked like it acted weird there for a minute. Supposed to be playing the intro, not showing Tiffany and I live talking to each other. But it looks like that's what it did. So hopefully that's our technical no-no of the night.
Now we have sound.
Yeah, like I said, it was supposed to be the intro, and it was supposed to be the intro music and everything else playing in the background. It wasn't supposed to be the camera picture. Tiffany clicked over to it on our monitor and was like, are we supposed to see this? No, we're not. But good evening, everybody. Like I said, Chris and Tiffany here. Welcome to the live show tonight. Let's start off with Desiree. Thank you for stopping by, Desiree. We appreciate the super sticker. Thank you. Let's see. Good evening, Dilly. So you can see you're here, but you can't stay.
She's going on a cruise
on
Sunday.
Yeah. There we go. Dale, welcome to the show. Robert. Bruce.
Bjorn.
All right. Good to see everybody here again. Listen, we are ready. We are ready to talk cruising, all things cruising related. We're counting down Christmas.
Yes.
How many days we got till Christmas? What is today's date?
It's the 6th, because I miss St. Nick night.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
St. Nick night. You guys know, does anybody else celebrate St. Nick night? I had never even heard of it, celebrated it, had anything to do with it until Tiffany introduced me to it. I'd never even heard of such a thing, that you're supposed to put presents in a boot.
Well, we lived in Germany for a while, and it's a German custom. And you put your shoe out or your boot out, and you get in on December 5th. And on December 6th, you wake up to candy and oranges and apples and stuff like that, or a little trinket or of some sort. And my mother did it with us ever since we moved back from Germany. And I did it with my kids, and I did it with your kids when they were with us. And yeah, so it's St. Nick night.
St. Nick night. Yep. So 19 days till Christmas.
Yes.
19 more days. In case you're wondering, remember, I do wear a size 7 day cruise.
Okay.
Okay.
7-day cruise, huh?
Right. I wear a size 7 day cruise.
Okay.
Okay. Cruise line, that I'll let you pick that one.
Okay.
All right. That's what I want to see under the tree when I get there.
Okay.
When I wake up Christmas morning, Santa needs to have brought me a 7-day cruise.
Okay.
And the Norwegian Prima doesn't count. We already had that cruise. Okay. You can't count the Norwegian Prima.
Okay.
Because we are 43 days as of today away from cruising. I am super excited. I hear your dog. You might as well just let him in. We're trying different things to get him to stop barking during the show.
Come on.
But now they've taken up to whining. Whining at the door. But Desiree's here. She wants to see the puppies. This one needs a haircut, but he's in his winter coat.
Yes. Hanukkah is tomorrow night.
Oh, well. Then we'll have to make sure we, I guess, so is it Happy Hanukkah Eve? Merry Hanukkah Eve?
Don't know.
Is there a Hanukkah Eve? I'm not familiar with if there is a Hanukkah Eve. But we'll say Merry Hanukkah Eve. How about that?
Or Happy Hanukkah.
Or Happy Hanukkah Eve. Yes. Hanukkah's not till tomorrow. So it's Hanukkah Eve.
It's great to see the dog.
Okay. They gotta put them out. Because as soon as we let them in, now they want to fight.
Jelly donuts.
What's jelly donuts?
It's probably part of Hanukkah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't either.
Our puppies are watching yours.
We had to put them back out because as soon as we put them on the ground, then they want to growl and wrestle. It's like they know that we're doing something live, and I guess that's their form of participation.
Yes.
They have to be involved in it somehow.
Yes.
Some way. So, but where was that?
43 days.
43 days till we cruise on the Norwegian Prima. We are still watching the polling we're doing for the 2026 group cruise. we're going to let the poll run till the end of the month. That way, for anybody that hasn't voted, they can still vote. It's under the communities tab now on YouTube. That way, it's accessible to everybody, just in case you don't use any other type of app. If you haven't voted yet, it is over there. We're going to run it to the end of the month. But right now, last time I looked at it, it's Carnival Cruise Lines. What were they? In the Caribbean.
Okay.
During like maybe Christmas or January. And I forgot, what was there was the other option.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember. What do you think of standby cruising?
If you live, okay, so just a hypothetical example. If we lived in Galveston, we were in the cruise port's right there, and it's not a big deal, then sure, might be willing to gamble it if it was something we really wanted to do. But if you got to fly, travel, hotel, spend any kind of money like that, I would say that standby cruising is a gamble that I couldn't afford. I wouldn't want to be able to take it. A really good example is what recently went on with Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas, where they overbooked the cruise. There were, I want to say they finally counted somewhere between like 10 and 20 couples that they just did not have cabins for. They said, oh, we'll get in standby and maybe some rooms will open up. And 2 of those couples got on the ship and all the others never got a room. So that's anywhere between 10 and 20% of whatever's in standby might get a room. Those odds are not great.
So Desiree's asking, what is standby?
So standby, the way I think of standby is, let's say you're on the waiting list. A cruise is fully booked. You can go on a waiting list or a standby for that particular cruise, but you won't know the outcome of that essentially until right before the ship sails or embarkation day. Yeah, so you have to go to the cruise port. You have to be at the cruise terminal and essentially hope that somebody cancels, doesn't show up, some last minute thing that frees up a cabin, and then you might be able to get on the ship.
Yeah.
But like I said, unless you're right there, if I lived in Galveston or lived in Miami or, one of the cruise ports where I could just be there and check it, it's not a big deal if they say, no, I've wasted a couple of hours. That's a whole lot different than you pay anything to travel. If I had to pay any amount of money for it, I would say it's probably not worth it unless I have a guaranteed cabin on board.
She says too much money and time and yuck. In California, Linda shares standby is risky.
Yeah, exactly.
I wondered if they would really give you a top of the line suite for $49 a day.
I have heard stories. I have heard some stories that, if you have, for an example, now most of it hasn't been like from standby, but if they have like a guaranteed cabin, say if you're on the waiting list for a guaranteed cabin and the absolute only cabin that shows up available on the ship is a suite, and you're guaranteed a cabin, even if it's an inside cabin, they would put you in that suite. Does not happen very often. Suites are some of the first ones to book out and generally some of the last ones to cancel, but it is theoretically possible. But it's not a common story. I would say it's probably the best thing. But yeah, anything's possible.
Yeah. So what other news stories do we have? Good evening, Chris and Tiffany and all High Seas cruisers.
Good evening, James. Welcome to the show. Well, we got to figure, though, that even if they were to give a room for $49, it's better than zero.
Yeah.
And while they won't make any money on the room, you're still going to probably spend some kind of money on the ship. You're going to buy drinks. You might go to a specialty restaurant. You'll do something. You might gamble in the casino, something like that would still bring some type of revenue into the cruise lines because, whatever they make off of that is still better than they would make, which is zero, if they didn't fill the room even at a cheap price.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility, but it's not
guaranteed.
It's not a guaranteed possibility. guess is the best way to say that. So what else has been going on this week? I know I've been looking at stuff.
Where's your next cruise and where are y'all sailing to?
All right, so our next cruise is 43 days on board the Norwegian Prima. We're going to, I got to remember this, we're going to Cozumel, Mexico, Costa Maya, Roatan, and Belize. But Belize is the private island, Harvest Key. Norwegian's private island on Harvest Key.
At least it's less than a loss.
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, they'll take your last dollar before they take no dollars.
Rick says hello from Galveston.
Hello, Rick. Welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I did do some checking. I know Rick had mentioned it. It's probably been a couple weeks now that they were going to move the Battleship Texas there to Pier 21.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, everything says that's exactly where it's going to go. I don't know exactly how they're going to put it there, but looks like that's exactly where it's going to go. So I guess they're going to pull it out of dry dock, basically pull it across the channel, and
there you go.
There you go, Battleship Texas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did do some reading on that. I went over to the Battleship Texas's page, get some of their latest news and information, and kind of figure out what was going on with that. And I am still utterly curious to know where they're going to put that ship, though. My only hope is they have a way or a plan or a thought that doesn't block
the Harbor Hotel.
That doesn't, well, not even the hotel, but the whole view you get from standing on that backside of Pier 21.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Battleship Texas is a beautiful thing to see, but I want to be able to see the cruise ships pull in and out and do all that other kind of good stuff. So, hope they kind of got a plan for that.
Yeah. The word I'm hearing is Pier 20, which puts her closer to the offshore museum.
Okay, now that makes more sense because it's still right there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little further down, and that should be like right there, like in front of Kate's.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's right there near Kate's and stuff like that, and that makes good sense. It's a parking lot right there, remember, and it's an open field next to the Harbor House.
Yeah, there's that little seating area, park kind of thing.
Right, so if they were to put it right in there, that actually would be nice.
Yes.
That would be nice. I'd like it right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, seeing Rick on there reminded me that I did do some checking on that. Well, I was really curious.
Yeah.
So with everything going on in Galveston and they're rolling with it. They're rolling with it hard down there. That I'm excited for it.
Kate's will have a great view of the Texas.
Yes, they will. Especially if you eat on the outside there on that balcony, you just be staring right at her.
Yeah. Been watching Jubilee Crossing on Cruise Mapper. Think I will book for next winter after Princess. Or after prices.
After prices drop a little. Oh, I know. These cruise prices. They released the prices for the inaugural sailings, the first couple of sailings aboard the Son of the Seas. Son of the Seas? Yeah, which is the next icon class. No, Star of the Seas. Where am I getting Son of the Seas? Star of the Seas, the next Royal Caribbean icon class ship. They're already releasing her bookings. The cheapest guaranteed cabin for that cruise starting at $3,600.
Oh my goodness.
$3,600.
And hopefully it's longer than 3 days.
I don't even know how long the first one is, but it's not. It shouldn't be $3,600.
No.
But they're taking this. Look, we're a brand new ship. The price is pretty dang seriously. That and just keep in mind that's not best room on the ship. That's a guaranteed cabin price. That's essentially a non-refundable, cheap, guaranteed price cabin. $3,600.
Alien Frequency. Good evening, Chris and Tiffany. I hope y'all's evening has been jolly thus far.
It has. I have jollily sat in my chair majority of the day. I may have napped. Tiffany wasn't home. There is no proof of this napping.
And eating tamales.
And I've eaten tamales. That has pretty much been my entire day. So yes, it has been a great day. I'm not gonna lie. It has been a very good, relaxing. Yeah, I'll be 100% honest. I didn't even get dressed until right before this video started. So it's been a good day. But yeah, so the cruise prices for some of these inaugural cruises are crazy. So, and like I said, initially we had booked on one of the first sailings of the Jubilee. Then, of course, all those got canceled. And then we start looking at the prices for the Jubilee like now, and they're high.
The topic of Rick's column next Saturday is the Jubilee.
I'm looking forward to the Jubilee. It is still my intention to be down there on that Wednesday. I'm really just waiting to see what time she's going to be in there. What is her expected time, so I could be down there and kind of take a look at it.
3,600. That is just crazy,
right? That is absolutely a crazy price for a guaranteed cabin.
You can take a Disney cruise cheaper than that.
How sad is that?
And with a balcony.
How sad is that? You could sail on Disney for equal to or less than that price. That's how obnoxious those prices have gotten. I never even thought about that.
Is that per adult?
Yeah. Or no, it's based on double occupancy.
Okay.
It's always based on double occupancy. So per person, it's, what is that?
1,800.
Yeah, 1,800 per person. But yeah, that's insane.
Yes, that's right. Too damn much.
But you know what? For your everyday cruiser, though, I guarantee it, they're going to book that ship out. People are going to book it. They want those inaugural sailings. They want to say, I'm the first one on the ship. Hey, more power to them, but honestly, that's when the stuff doesn't work. That's when they're still trying to finish up the ship. That's when they discover, oh, guess what? These 12 items don't work. And the crew members are still figuring out how things even happen on board the ship. Because a lot of the crew members are new. The inaugural sailings are, to me, they're kind of an iffy experience at best, other than to be able to come back and go, I was first.
Yeah. You can get a suite with a balcony for that price. Yeah, you can. Exactly.
Especially if you go on there, and I was looking the other day, and you can get princess cruises out of Galveston for, less than $1,000 at double occupancy rate. They're like, for the cruises, like $300-$400, $450 per person, straight out of Galveston on Princess. And then you look over and Star of the Seas, $3,600. It's like,
I guess everyone has to make back the money some kind of way. Yeah.
I don't even think it's that anymore. It's supply and demand. They're going to throw some outrageous prices out there. And if people book them and that ship fills up, which is probably going to do, why would they lower the price? Because they're like, excuse me, you figure they're sitting around going, hey, I got an idea. Let's make this the lowest price out there and see what happens. Then boop, 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 people start booking. And they're like, hey, guess what we're doing for the next ship?
Yeah.
And they're going to raise that until people don't book it. Then they're going to be like, oops, okay, we reached it. And they'll start to lower it back down. But
California Linda shares that it's crazy. It's more than our 27-day cruise interior room, South Pacific, from Sydney to San Francisco.
Yeah, the 28-day when we were looking, going over to Europe and the British Isles and everything, was less than $3,600.
Yeah.
And it was 27, 28 nights. So yeah, it's crazy. It's all because it's a brand new ship.
Yeah. Alien frequency. I've heard some folks advise against taking an inaugural cruise because there might be shows that aren't up and running yet, and the crew's still working out bugs here and there.
And I completely agree with that. That's why we are not ever on a first sailing, because honestly, the first sailings are usually, that's when something's going to go wrong. It's almost guaranteed. And it's like you said, the crew is learning. So even for the Jubilee, when we were booked on the Jubilee, we booked on the second sailing, not the first. Because, yeah, the Jubilee's on her way over here. She has crew on board. The crew are training. But her first passengers are not going to be till that first sailing on the 23rd. Is the first time full-time passengers going to be on that ship. And for some of those crew members, that's going to be the first time they're ever going to deal with passengers. You know, in that capacity. And it's a mess.
Yeah. Still waiting for Royal Caribbean to roll out phase 2 of the Caribbean 25-26 calendar. It's supposed to roll out this week. I want to see who is replacing Harmony. The rumor is Wonder of the Seas.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen officially is that it's Harmony. They haven't gone anything beyond Harmony. That's all I've seen yet. I did see one over on Royal Caribbean that, I don't know, kind of made me think that Harmony might be staying for a while, but they didn't actually say that. So until, I guess, like you said, until they actually release it, we won't know. But I still think it's a possibility because all of their new ships, the Icon and now the Star, are all going to Florida. So wouldn't surprise me if they slid one out.
Yeah. Okay, gotta run. Tika's leaving.
Bye. No, we knew we saw that at the beginning.
James, I also think there are a lot of people new to cruising don't realize how to find the deals. Lenny is here. Plus, they're still learning.
Yes.
Hello from Lenny in Geneva.
Good evening, Lenny. Welcome to the show.
Mrs. Alien is asking for more info and updates on the High Seas Cruising group cruise when you get a chance. Sorry if you've already talked about it. We got here late.
Nope, you're fine. Said the polls are still currently up on YouTube. They are under the communities tab. We're going to run the polls all the way through December. We're going to have them up. That way, in case anybody's misvoting, anything like that, give everybody an opportunity to vote. And then starting at the first of the year, we'll have everything tallied up, put all the results out, and we'll start going into the group cruise. Like I said, the last time I looked at it, it was Carnival Cruise Lines heading towards the Caribbean. And I cannot for the life of me remember. Heading to the Caribbean. There was something else. And it was, last time I looked, most people had been voting for like a wintertime cruise. So December, January, February. So that's kind of where it is right now. But we want to give everybody a chance to vote first. So I figured we just leave them up there for a couple of weeks. And I think those four things, which cruise line, where do we want to go, what time of year do we want to go, will be able to put us into a good little focus. Oh, and where did we want to sail from, right? Was that one of them?
I think so. Keep swinging my chair.
Harmony is moving to Spain in 2026.
Yeah.
That could be why I thought that the Harmony was staying for a while. So, okay, yeah, that makes sense because, like I said, coming just to 2024, that puts her there for another year and a couple months. So, sounds about right. Which means you've got till March to get on the Harmony to go eat in the Wonderland restaurant.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yes, it is. Or I'll send you pictures of me eating in there.
Okay.
One of the two.
Love having Harmony here in Galveston.
It's nice having a big ship down here for having options. I think Royal Caribbean's doing a really good job in Galveston of bringing in different sizes of ships to give different opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Harmony's here, Voyager of the Seas is here, Radiance of the Seas was here, Grandeur of the Seas was here. So we've seen small, medium, all the way up to Oasis class ships. So it's good that they're rotating all of their, different sizes in and kind of giving everybody what they want,
yes,
at least for a little bit of the time.
Yes.
So I think Royal's doing a really good job on that by moving their stuff in and out like that. Where are we at?
They're saying hi, Mom and Dad. Hi.
Oh.
Remember, we have a whole family here.
That's right. We do have the families in here.
I love it. 3 days and back on the Mardi Gras.
3 days.
Woo.
We're still talking about the Mardi Gras. We actually have to check with our Mardi Gras companions on that one.
Yes.
And see if that was still going. Some of our other cruises are kind of up in the air right now. We have, we have some activity coming up at the beginning of next year that we kind of have, that we're playing it by ear right now.
If anyone here sailed on the Harmony thinking it might be a ship I like to sail on later next year?
What was that?
Has anyone here sailed on the Harmony thinking it might be a ship I'd like to sail on later next year?
Tiffany reads it without all the proper pauses in there, and I'm like, what? Okay, I got you. I know we haven't sailed on the Harmony. I sailed on the Allure of the Seas, another Oasis class ship. I loved it. And I want to take Tiffany on Harmony of the Seas. I think there's enough stuff and enough interesting things going on with Harmony that I think Tiffany would really, really like it. And I'll say this much for the Oasis class ships, that being as big as they are and as many people as they hold, and when I was on the Allure, she was at capacity, it felt less crowded the majority of the time than some of the smaller ships. I did not feel like there were 6,000 people on that ship. There is enough room to really spread those folks out.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is. And I was very pleasantly surprised with how nice it was to be on an Oasis class ship. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to Harmony because, like I said, Tiffany's got a thing. She really is wanting to try that Wonderland restaurant. And so with Harmony here, I want to put her on Harmony just in case, because you never know what exactly we'll get next. If once Harmony leaves, we hope it's something good. I hope the rumor's true and it's Wonder. But if not, make sure we take you on Harmony. That way we know for a fact you can get it now.
I love the Oasis class ships. I know Tiffany would love the Aqua Show. I think I would. I've seen videos when you did the Aqua Show.
I like the Aqua Show.
Yeah.
Of course, I like all the shows on board the ship. And I know I've said it before, but it's so weird. I don't watch any of those types of shows or go to any of those types of shows unless it's on a cruise ship. I don't go to theater. I don't go to plays. Or I don't go to those production shows. Nothing. But if I'm on a cruise ship, I will attend every single one of them.
Yeah.
And so I like the Aqua shows. I like the ice shows.
Mm-hmm.
I go to all the ice shows, as well as the production shows. Really into those shows.
Rick says, I sailed the Lure several times and never felt crowded.
Yeah. It's amazing that you don't feel crowded on a ship with 6,000 passengers, plus the crew members and everybody else on board. And you just don't feel like you're shoulder to shoulder. It's actually pretty easy and convenient and nice to just kind of go around.
James says, I'm the same way. Love to see the Aqua shows. Rick says, think wet Cirque du Soleil.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I enjoy all cruise shows as well, Desiree.
Yeah, there's just something about cruise shows that
just amazes me that they can do all of that. And then the learning behind the scenes, depending on how the ship is rocking, what kind of shoes they're going to wear. And
think the Aqua Show, that thing, they're diving from way, way, way up there into, and I'm telling you, the pool doesn't look like but it's this big. And they're diving from, it's many decks up there. It's not anything small. And they're diving all the way down into this little bitty pool on a ship that's moving.
Yes. And we saw that one on that Mighty Ships where they said that if it's rocking too much and they have to cancel because if the water splashes out too much, it'll injure the divers.
I don't know. I just know that that is a far drop to drop down into that water in those aqua shows on a moving ship. That takes some skill and that takes some bravery because you not catch me jumping off that. I'll be up there holding on.
Yes.
Wanting to go back down that ladder.
Desiree is very talented people who perform the shows.
Yeah, they have to be. It's nothing I can do.
Alien Frequency, have you guys been to Bermuda? It's something we've talked about for a couple years, but haven't booked it.
We have not been to Bermuda yet. It is on our list, though, but we haven't been over there yet.
Desiree, I too don't go to any Broadway shows as well.
Yeah, it's a cruise thing.
Attila the Fun, hey y'all, late getting here, was away from computer. You made it.
Yeah, you made it. It's all good. We're happy to have you here early, late, last 5 minutes. We'll take it.
James says, yes, Desiree, I totally agree. Have seen some very talented performers on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cruise lines are good about that. They are really good about getting some of the best and most talented people out there to come on board those ships.
Yeah.
I mean, from their production cast to their musicians, the divers, the skaters, all that kind of stuff. And they get those people out there. I mean, even the ice skating to, thin little blade, ice, moving ship. They still do it. They're spinning, jumping.
It's not very big.
No,
The ice rink is not
doing
very big.
stunts and lifts and all that other kind of stuff on a moving vessel. And that takes skill.
Yes.
That's just the bottom line. So, but all I can say is, wow. That's always going to be for us one of the most impressive things about cruising is the crew members, and entertainers and everything else that is on board those ships. Just cannot say enough good thing about crew and ships and the people that work on those.
Desiree says Bermuda is nice, especially the beaches.
I've yet to meet too many beaches I didn't like either.
The aqua shows would be fun. The Cirque du Soleil show was awesome. So I can't say that word. I'm sorry. I'm probably butchering it.
I can't see it. I can't barely read it without my glasses. But I don't wear my glasses during the live because for whatever reason, mine will reflect every light in the room. I don't know how yours don't reflect every single light in the room, but mine do.
I'm sure they do.
We can see yourself in the camera. Or you see yourself on the screen.
Even the musician duos and trios who play on tiny stages next to bars are usually amazing. On our last cruise, the steel drummer was like the Kirk Hammett of the steel drum.
Yeah, it's amazing how they always find some of the best talent out there. And it really doesn't matter, what cruise line you go on. We've seen talent, super, talented people on every cruise line we've been on.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all good about finding, singers, dancers, musicians, entertainers of all kinds.
I know there was that one violinist. You just, every time we walked by there, you would stop.
You're going to have to remind me what ship that was on.
I don't know. I don't know.
What's that bottom one say?
I love that. Oh, we missed a comment. 3 violins playing AC/DC Thunderstruck was my favorite.
Yeah, you get that violin trio. We've seen it a lot on Carnival, things where we see it the most. You get that violin trio there in the atrium, and boy, they'll play anything, and they can play anything. Yeah, they're playing rock and roll and every, heavy metal and everything, going to town on those violins.
Yeah.
They're just awesome.
James says, I'm thinking I will be cruising out of Galveston more after I'm done on Prima, so we'll be looking at different ships.
Yeah, hopefully Galveston gives you a good impression and all that kind of stuff while you're down there. It's one of my favorite places to cruise out of. One, because it's super convenient, And two, I think it works really well. I think from parking to getting to the cruise ship to getting on the cruise ships down there, I think they're working now to even make it easier, to make it better, make it more convenient and safer than it already is. And so hopefully Galveston gives a really good impression. Hopefully you get the same impression we get from it.
Rick says with 4 terminals, we will have quite a few ships to pick from.
Absolutely. When we get, yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It's going to give more options. Like I said, they're going to increase the parking. It's easy. It's easy from all of the, and granted, we haven't sailed from, every cruise port in the world. We sailed from Canaveral, sailed from Mobile, we've sailed from Seattle, sailed from Galveston. I can definitely say that Galveston is probably one of the easiest ones I've ever sailed from. Yeah. Okay. And that's saying a lot because Canaveral was pretty easy. Mobile was easy, but Galveston is still the easiest.
I did not like Seattle.
Seattle was different.
Yes.
Seattle was definitely not what you're used to.
James says Miami and Fort Lauderdale are so busy and crowded.
Yeah, Galveston's not. It's not that way yet. I mean, it has its moments like every other place. And when we add a 4th cruise terminal down there, if you have 4 ships loading all at one time and we get bigger ships down there, I'm sure it's going to get a little more crowded because honestly, at the end of the day, it is on an island.
Yeah.
So you can only expand so far. But I do think there's room, and there's room for growth. And the businesses that are down there, the ones that we go into, the restaurants, the hotels, the souvenir shops, Tiffany's favorite candy shop down there and stuff like that, they're happy to see us when we come in there. Not us particular, but cruise passengers. They're happy to see us down there because we're down there. We're spending money and feeding that economy. And I think it also reflects from the service you get down there and the culture you get down there and the way that cruise passengers are treated down there.
Yeah.
I think makes Galveston a plus.
Miami is controlled chaos.
I've seen it. I've seen pictures and heard stories, and we're scheduled to sail out of Miami in May. So there's a good chance we're going to get a good dose of that controlled chaos. But I don't know. I think we're lucky right now that we're getting the cruises we are getting out of Galveston, and it's as good as it is. Hopefully that doesn't change.
The Z Show Cruise Fun. Good afternoon or good evening. The Port of Galveston is making traffic improvements, adding an internal road system and more.
Yeah, with that $53 million, I think was the last amount that they got approved. Yeah, so Galveston's working to even make it better. They're prepping for the future. They're being proactive versus reactive. And I think that's helping Galveston a lot because they know they want the business. They know they can attract the business. They're hungry for the business. And so they've got it in their minds already that, hey, we're going to put all of our ducks in a row and get these cruise lines to come in here. So they're being very proactive about it, and being proactive about it is showing. And it's good for the cruise passengers. And let's be honest, if a cruise passenger can go to a cruise port, whether it's parking or taking an Uber in or taking a shuttle from one of the local hotels over there, they can get to the cruise terminal, get their bags dropped off, get through the terminal, and get on the ship without a whole bunch of headaches, problems, delays, and traffic. That's what they're going to remember, and that's going to make them want to go back to that cruise port.
Yeah. And
that's what Galveston wants. They want them to say, I want to come back, because they'll come back and spend more money.
Yes. Ton of the Fun says traffic improvements coming. Thanks, Rick. It's much needed for growth. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think they're doing the right thing with it. I think they're looking in the right direction, and they want that business. And I think they have the right attitude about it, in my opinion.
I'm actually excited to check out Galveston before the Prima cruise. That's a good thing.
There's definitely some things to see. There's some stuff to look at. And it all depends on what your interests are. If you go in the downtown historical part of Galveston, which is over there, you can get to it like off of 21st Street, downtown, over there by Pier 21. There's historical buildings. There's a lot of original architecture down there. It's an interesting place. It's a nice place. There's attractions. There's food to eat. There's just walk along the beach.
Lots of stuff to do.
Yeah, lots of stuff to do. I mean, if you like history and naval history, you go right on the other side to Seawolf Park. You can tour submarines. There's a destroyer over there. The battleship Texas is she's in dry dock, but you'll see her right over there when we get on the cruise ship. You look over the side right into the battleship Texas, see her there in dry dock, and then as soon as she's done in dry dock, she's going to come out and go pretty much where the cruise ships are going to be. It's going to be an entire World War I dreadnought. You might be able to tell I enjoy my historical naval museums. So a lot of good stuff coming.
Our favorite was Elena Bosworth, a cellist whose home base is Branson. Genres varying and bouncing between classical to Kiss to Sinatra, an amazing musician. Embarkation is pretty smooth out of Baltimore too, but Baltimore is not a city I'd want to spend much time in. Sorry to anyone from Baltimore.
Now, I haven't been to Baltimore, but I would like to visit Baltimore at least once. I'd like to see its history.
Yeah.
And more of that has to do with because I have spent very little time on the northeastern part of the United States. Very, very actual little time exploring and seeing what there is to see. So I'd like to do Baltimore just at least for that.
James says, plus I get to meet Tiffany and you at the spot the day before the cruise.
Absolutely. Nope. That is definitely still on. We will still be there. As we get closer, we'll set a time. So we'll be there. Of course, Rick said he's going to be there. And then anybody else that happens to be in Galveston and wants to join us,
we will be there.
We will be there. We will definitely be there. What's our other friend's name in Galveston?
Christine.
Yeah. And like Christine, I know she's down in Galveston. I know she watches. Last time I talked to Christine, it's been a while. She watches the channel on her TV, so she can't respond. But if Christine is watching, we're going to be at the spot January the 18th. We're going to nail down that time. And Christine cruised with us on the Vista?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I remember it was Carnival.
Vista.
Yes.
Breeze. Might have been the Breeze.
It was Carnival.
It was Carnival. Well, that is an awful problem to have.
Yeah.
That is a first world problem right there. We can't remember the name of the ship.
Yes. But Christine was a first-time cruiser.
Yes, she was a very first-time cruiser from Colorado.
From Colorado. She loved it so much, she moved to Galveston.
Yes.
No problem, Attila. We are also pushing TxDOT to move up the ramp construction from I-45 to Harborside past the railroad tracks. And then what cruise are you on in May?
In May, we are scheduled, it's MSC. And here's where I'm going to get all kinds of crazy with it because I can't ever remember. I want to say it's the Seashore. It's an MSC ship out of Miami in May. It's one of the C's. Seascape, Seashore. Too many of their ships have the exact same name or very close to each other's name. But I'll have to look it up. But it's MSC. I don't have my stuff in here. I know I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't remember. Seaside. It's Seaside, isn't it?
Seaboard.
No, MSC. So it's Seaside. MSC Seaside. I think, yeah, Seaside. I'm pretty sure it's Seaside. I don't know why I cannot separate those MSC ships.
I don't know. I can't find it. I played with your book. Give us a good report on your MSC sailing. I am curious.
Oh, we will. We're going to have film and reviews, and we'll definitely be talking about it because it's going to be our first time on MSC, and I'm curious about it too. I honestly am. I'm curious to know how it really is.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those cruise lines where it's a love or hate. It seems like people come off of MSC and say it was beautiful. It was awesome. I loved it. Excuse me. And then some people come off of MSC and say, oh, never again.
Yeah.
And very little in between. You know, very few come back and say, oh, it was all right. Maybe I'll do it again. It's like, yes or no.
You guys doing any excursions on the MSC cruise? We really enjoyed the video of the underwater sea walk you did.
For MSC, we honestly haven't even looked very much into excursions yet. That one, because it's going out of the East Coast, is going to all brand new places for Tiffany. It is going to Bimini, which I've been to, but Tiffany hasn't. It's going to Puerto Rico. It's going to Puerto Plata. And it's going to St. Thomas. So a lot of times when we go to a place for the very first time, we will do a self-guided excursions. A lot of times, kind of get the feel of the land, just kind of check out things on our own so we can take our time, do what we want to do, investigate what we want to investigate, and then usually when we go back, we do excursions. So I don't know if we will pick up any excursions for MSC unless we just see that gotta must-do type of situation.
Yeah. Attila the Fun says, oh, yes, thanks again, Rick. Great news about moving the ramp up.
Yeah. But that's kind of how we do our cruising. So even an example, like we're coming up, when we go on the Prima, we're going to do excursions in every place but Harvest Key, because we've been to Roatan before. We've been to, of course, Mexico before. So we'll do excursions through there, but we've never been to Harvest Key, the private island. So at least the first time we're there, we're going to get off. We're just going to kind of explore around, do the filming, get the lay of the land, and feel it out. That's normally how we do it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of our way, I guess.
Yeah.
And it works for us. And so far that it's worked out pretty well. We have some good adventures doing it that way.
Yes, we do.
We've had some mistakes doing that before.
Yes.
But
yes, we have.
Sometimes you get lost. Sometimes you end up on a bus to nowhere, like in Grand Caymans. But it's all been an adventure.
Love St. Thomas. Take the cable car to the mountaintop overlooking the bay.
Yeah, I haven't been in St. Thomas since I was a kid. So I think I was 12, maybe, the last time I was on St. Thomas. So I do not remember a whole lot about St. Thomas. Because I used to live when I was a kid, and I was in the 6th grade, so I want to say that's like, 11, 12 for the 6th grade. I lived on St. Croix. And so, of course, field trips and stuff were to places like, when you did your school trips or anything like that, you basically just went over to St. Thomas. That's a trip in the Caribbean. And so I do remember St. Thomas. But what I remember about St. Croix, and it's the one thing that's stuck in my head, and I'm sure it's over on St. Thomas, but we used to go into town, like on the weekends, and there was this cart, and he sold what they kind of look like what here in Texas we would call an empanada. It looks kind of like a pie, like what do you call those? Like a pie.
They're called meat pies.
But meat pies, but it came in beef and pork, and they were pretty spicy, and they were like deep fried. I said in Texas we would call something like that an empanada.
Yeah.
But they used to sell them in these carts in St. Croix when I used to live there, and that is what stuck in my head. That, and we used to go down to the beach and watch lobsters walk by. But that's what I'm hoping when I go to St. Thomas. Believe it or not, that is actually what I'm looking for. Is for somebody with one of those carts selling one of those meat pies, because I want to eat it again and see if it is like I remember it as a kid.
Yeah.
That's my St. Thomas goal.
Because mine aren't good enough.
What is your St. Thomas goal?
I meant your meat, Mike. I make him meat pies, but I can't.
No, these aren't from Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
These are different.
Different.
This is different.
James says yes. Been to St. Thomas and love the cable ride up the mountain. We'll have to try that maybe. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. We're up for about anything.
Yeah, we are. Hi from the Crown Princess, currently on day 11 of our 16-day Trans-Pacific, Hawaii, heading to Ensenada, before ending in San Francisco on December 12th. So far, it has been amazing. From Shelley. That is awesome.
So that would have originated in Australia? Would that have been where y'all started? But that would be an awesome cruise.
Alien frequency. You can save some time and just buy yourself some Hot Pockets.
No, it's not a Hot Pocket. It's a childhood memory. It's not a Hot Pocket, though. It's, I don't know. I cannot for the life of me remember what they're called. In Jamaica, Jamaicans have something similar. The Caribbean meat pie. But that is not what they had in St. Croix. It was different.
Yeah.
But get a Hot Pocket.
I'm loving that Shelley's talking with us on a cruise ship.
From the Crown Princess.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say this much. Shelley, we really appreciate you being here. But you're on a cruise. Why are you on here with us?
Sounds like amazing cruise, Shelley. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I mean, we love having you here.
Yes.
You are always absolutely welcome. Love to hear about people on cruise ships. But from one cruise to another, honestly, are you spending your cruising time on here with us? I'm just saying.
But we love having you.
Yeah, we love having you, but if you want to go by, I'm cruising. I get it. Believe me, I get it. Because that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, we'll get with y'all later. There's something really cool to see over here.
So, Hawaii. I'm still laughing at the Hot Pocket.
Yeah, I know Hot Pockets.
16 days is a long cruise. That might be too long for me. I don't know. Is your internet Princess or Starlink?
Princess, it should be Starlink. It's a Carnival Corporation, so they have all supposedly switched over to the Starlink, which is why Carnival has announced that they are raising their internet prices again.
Of course.
Yeah, because it's Starlink now. It's faster. AKA translation, it's faster. It's much faster that the money now comes out of your wallet.
But it works because Shelley's talking with us.
Yeah, remember when we were on Discovery, it worked.
Yeah. I love that.
Well, don't get me wrong. When the Starlink is working, the Starlink works. It's excellent when it's working. It's still a satellite system, so you can still get atmospheric interference and sunspots and location hiccups and stuff like that. But when it's working, it works. That's how we're able to go live on the last couple of cruises.
Attila says, wow, Shelley, your internet works. I guess the Starlink works great. The cruise is round trip from San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome. Hot Pockets.
Now, see what you started with the Hot Pockets?
Linda says 16 days or longer is nice.
Yeah, the longest I've done so far was the 9 days. I liked it.
I did too. I did too.
I'm pretty sure that was a stab at me.
No, ham and cheese.
But
It is between eating time.
Okay. I can get that.
Yes. Playing on the internet while you're waiting for food. We do the same thing.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Virginia Island
Virgin, baby.
or Virgin Island pâtés, similar to an empanada. These delicious and portable hand pies are a popular snack in the Virgin Islands, filled with a flavorful mixture of meat, vegetables wrapped in a flaky.
See? That's what I'm talking about. It's not Hot Pocket.
Does that sound like the name of your pie?
It could be. I was a child, but that is the description I have in my head.
And Shelly says the internet is fantastic so far. I loved the ham and cheese back in the day, but I think I ate them too much. The Philly steak ones and the meatball ones are really good. And yes, it's Starlink.
Yep. But yeah, Connie, that is exactly what it sounds like. Yep, similar to an empanada. I said, I just remember it was a guy and he had like a hot dog cart, kind of like you would see. And I'm sure my memory is not perfect. Because if I was 12, that was
a long time ago.
20 years ago? Not even. Like 15 years ago? And so, it's hard to remember. Why are you laughing?
Because I think they all remember your 50th birthday.
That was propaganda that you started. That was just propaganda. It's television. Nothing's real. It's like those actors. Everybody's seen those actors, They're playing like they're 16, but in reality, they're like 48. See, I have the reverse.
So you're actually 50, but you're playing 28?
No, I'm 28 playing a 50-year-old. I have to put the gray in my beard before I do the shows. I got like this white marker that I rub on and then it turns gray.
I'm just messing with you, Chris. My only experience with empanadas are the caramel apple ones from Taco Bell, which are delicious, but I'm sure they're not authentic.
No, believe me, we're not taking any offense to any of it. I find it hilarious too.
Says you're a kid still.
Yeah, see? 24, I told you.
California Linda says, we are 85 days out. I was wanting to purchase medallion net on We Embarked. Thanks for the informative. Not a year over 12.
Okay. No. I have to be at least be 21. Otherwise, they don't let me on cruise ships by myself. You gotta have important things.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not because you can drink at 21. It's because you gotta be 21 and get on a cruise ship by yourself. The medallion net. Yeah, so Princess supposedly is releasing their new app. It's supposed to be releasing here shortly. Like any day now, if it hasn't already. It's supposed to help complement their new Starlink setups.
Yes, caramel apple, not camel apple. The latter sounds disgusting. There is a Guatemalan restaurant around the corner. I have empanadas all the time.
I don't know. It very well could have been, exactly the same thing as an empanada. It's kind of one of those situations, I remember it as a kid, and I go eat it, and it may not taste anything like what is in my head. But it was just something we did on the weekends. You'd go to town, and you'd get a couple of these, and it was like your weekend breakfast. And I remember it. And I want to do it again. Excuse me. I'm laughing too much. Making my throat go dry. But yeah, the medallion. It was good on Princess. When we had the last couple of times we've had the Princess internet, it was really, really good. I'll say this much though: if you want to get that internet, get it now. With Carnival just announcing the raising of their Wi-Fi prices, it would not surprise me if Princess comes right along behind that and does it. So before they do it, purchase anything you want to do. If you have an upcoming Carnival cruise, get it before the 8th.
2 days.
Yeah, you got 2 days, 2 more days. Get your internet on any upcoming Carnival cruises if you want it. prior to the 8th, just so you get it at the current price and not at the new prices.
Lenny says, you guys are so informative. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, really, really appreciate it. It's because I spend my entire life reading cruise stuff.
Shelley says, we have done a 21-day back-to-back Mediterranean transatlantic on Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas, which was amazing, and we were never bored when we had 12 days at sea crossing the Atlantic. I imagine not. I'm sure they have lots of activities, and going that many days, you need your rest in between those ports.
Well, like I said, Allure is huge. So Allure's got a ton of stuff to do on her, different activities. And honestly, if I had 12 days at sea, I would be taking 12 naps.
You take about 24.
The chance to just rest and chill for 12 days. It's one of the things I'm really looking forward to when we do our transatlantic to go over, is the fact that I can just rest and sleep for like a week.
Attila the Fun says, got my internet a while back, all set for my Carnival cruise coming up soon.
Yeah, just like I said, it's just one of those save a couple dollars while you can type situations. That's all that is.
We will use loyalty for internet as we do not benefit from the beverage packages.
We normally don't get those either. We do get them on Princess because it's part of Princess Plus. And I do like the Princess Plus simply for the convenience of it, plus the internet and included gratuities and all that kind of stuff. So on Princess, the Princess Plus is a value for us.
Unlimited coffee.
And Tiffany gets unlimited coffee, which she absolutely takes advantage of, which makes it even more worth it. We have the drink package coming up on Norwegian, but it was part of that free at sea program that they have. But the more I read into it, the more I kind of call it BS on that whole deal, because they still charge you a service charge for your free at sea drink package, which is basically the gratuities. But the free at sea drink package doesn't include things that Tiffany and I actually drink.
Yeah.
It doesn't include her coffees. It doesn't include my energy drinks. So if you want those kinds of things, we're still going to have to pay out of pocket for it. Doesn't include, I don't know. Basically, it's alcoholic drinks, which is, hey, fine and dandy. We'll maybe have 2 the whole cruise, unless someone's got a really new drink for us to try, the next version of the Irish trash can, then we're not going to use our drink package all that much, to be honest with you. The internet package from Norwegian doesn't include enough data. So we'll see how it goes. Norwegian's free at sea so far for us has not seen a huge plus. I'm not seeing the benefit before we get on the ship.
Alien Frequency says, it's 8. My wrestling is coming on. That's my cue because I'm a nerd. You folks have a fantastic night. Great stream as always.
Thank you very much. Then there's nothing wrong with being a nerd. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Remember, the nerds and the geeks will inherit the earth because they're the only ones smart enough to not do something dumb later on.
Shelley says, we have not had any problems with the internet, even with my husband and I being on it at the same time. Currently, we are 2 days at sea and works great. And then James says, yes, the NCL drink package, not that great unless you like to drink.
Yeah, and we don't. No. I said we'll probably continue the new Irish trash can tradition if we can find someone to make it for us on that ship. Maybe there'll be something new on that ship we've never heard of that we'll try. But I said water, coffee, an energy drink at breakfast, and maybe some Sprites.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So, yeah, I don't know. Now, once I get on the ship and I use it and I experience it, maybe I'll have a different opinion when I come home. So that'll actually be something to kind of see, will I feel differently about it once we get back and we've had a chance to use it and experience it? Do I feel like it was worth, because the total service charge for both Tiffany and I for the week was $300 total. I don't know if we're going to get $300 worth of use out of it. That's kind of my thing, especially when it's called free at sea.
Yeah.
You know, not free.
Hotel of the Fun says no excursions though through. Ours is a winter cruise, and even though we are going to the Bahamas, I'm not sure if the weather will be good for beach stuff, so we wait and see. We don't usually plan any water
Beach
activities during the winter months just because to me the water's cold and I already have a hard time in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, Tiffany's water temperature specific, and I'm well aware of it. So even like the Norwegian cruise coming up, we're going to do excursions that are on land off the beach. So that's when, we're going to go down and hug the sloths and play with the monkeys in Roatan. In Cozumel, we haven't picked yet, but we would do something like salsa cooking, go do tequila tasting, something like that inland that doesn't involve swimming, snorkeling, and all those kind of things because the water's temperature just isn't going to be right for her.
Rick said, I quit getting the beverage packages when I started getting free drink vouchers due to our Diamond and Diamond Plus status with the Royal Crown and Anchor Society. That's a good way to do it. Lenny's jumping off because he's with his son because wrestling is on.
All right, I think we're starting to compete with wrestling here.
Hey, you used to watch it too all the time.
I'm not mad at anybody for going to watch wrestling. Not at all. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to go watch it too. Y'all, good night. I'm just kidding. Tiffany's got this.
Linda says, great fun, thank you, and good night. Attila the Fun, yes, cold, that too. James says, I have found on my NCL cruises, I have taken that the bartenders are pretty good, and you should be able to find someone to make you a drink.
I said, ever since we did that for Voyages of the Seas, when we got put onto the Irish trash can, that was fun to go try something new. It was fun to find someone to make it. And so we're not huge drinkers in any way, shape, or form, but it was a fun experience. And normally, like on Carnival, we'll go to the Alchemy Bar just because that is just such a fun place to go to and just make up some random craziness. But
yes,
we're not huge drinkers.
No. Shelly says, we love Princess Plus package, especially because we just order our drinks, even Diet Cokes in a can, and don't worry about seeing it on the bill at the end.
Yeah, that was our huge plus with it as well. When we tried it the first time, we got it on the Ruby to test it, and then we most definitely got it when we went on Discovery to Alaska. And for us, it was absolutely worth it. I use the internet constantly on a cruise ship, uploading videos, doing work, and things like that. But it also gave Tiffany the internet, so while I was working, she could do her own internet, even if it was just saying hi to people at home, playing her games. I really like that. So the internet was completely worth it. And then the drink package, I said, we're not big drinkers, but Tiffany definitely took advantage of it with getting the specialty coffees, which is awesome. I'm glad she took advantage of that. And I agree, I could just order a drink and go to the bar and get get an energy drink. And with the room service, especially on the Discovery Princess, with the Princess Plus, it's free to get the room service. So not having a room service charge, and they would bring us drinks and food and snacks and pretty much whatever we wanted.
We did a lot of room service on the Discovery.
On Discovery, we did because we spent so much time on the balcony watching the scenery.
Yeah.
The Princess Plus really, really was a huge benefit on that cruise.
Yes.
And of course, all the gratuities are popped in there. So yeah, when you get that bill at the end, I want to say it was something really crazy. When we got our bill at the end of Discovery Princess, I want to say it was $13 was our onboard ship account total at the end.
Yeah.
Which is not bad. And we had some onboard credit and things like that, of course. But yeah, $13 was our ship total account when we got off the Discovery Princess. And a lot of that is due to the Princess Plus.
When I start getting Social Security next year, all that money is going to cruising.
Well, that's when you look to retiring on the cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
Just start doing back to back to back to backs. That's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Don't be those one folks, though. Woo. I'm sure you guys saw that story. And I forget the name of it right now. But this group, investment group, they were selling 3-year cruises. The cruise was supposed to last 3 years. Okay, and essentially you were buying your cabin for 3 years because that's where you were going to live. It was going to be your home, and this cruise ship was going to cruise around the world. Okay, so people were selling their houses, packing their stuff, selling their stuff, all this other kind of stuff, all to go to get ready to get on this 3-year cruise and live and retire on it. They didn't even have a cruise ship. They had plans to get a cruise ship. The deal fell through and someone else bought the cruise ship.
Oh, no.
And so they canceled the whole thing. And so these people, I said, some of these people sold their homes to go on this 3-year cruise. And they are going to get their money back in installments. So they're not even getting their money back all at once. They're going to get it back in installments. So they have no home. They don't have the money they spent. They're going to get it back essentially in payments. Essentially, this place is going to go bankrupt because they couldn't get the cruise ship. So I'll only say this much. If you're ever planning on retiring on a cruise ship, living on a cruise ship, whatever group you're doing with, make sure they have a cruise ship.
Make sure they're legit.
They were legit, but they didn't have a ship.
Yeah, that's a red flag first and foremost.
Have the ship. Make sure they have the ship first.
Yeah. Tilly says ours was $42 getting off the Caribbean Princess.
Yep, I love those cruises when you can pre-purchase enough stuff that basically your ship account at the end is just whatever little frivolous items here or there that you bought.
I'm lucky it's just extra money for me. I retired 20 years ago.
I keep trying to retire. Tiffany keeps making me go back. And I figured it out. She hasn't retired yet. So she's like, okay, he is having way too much fun without me. I'm not the only one that's going to work. And then, you know, I have to get a job again.
Yes.
See? That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. She doesn't want to get... I think it started to make her mad that she was getting up and leaving every morning, and I was waving bye to her from my pajamas, petting the dog. So...
Laugh out loud. Social Security has been supporting my cruises for the last 3 years.
You know what? You long earned Social Security.
Yes.
You have long earned it. So I say enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun with it.
Have fun with it. It's the best shit you possibly can. But I think we are going to get ready to wrap this up. We have been on here for a little over an hour.
Yes.
And like I said, we've had folks heading off to wrestling. I'm not sure if anybody else is waiting to go to wrestling. I didn't know we were competing with wrestling.
It's okay.
Which is perfectly fine. Hey, I get it. I get it. I mean, it's a choice. You can look at me or you can look at guys in their underwear. I'm just saying. Tiffany's not thinking about guys in her underwear. Now, Tiffany's leaving to watch wrestling.
I got 3 years before I can retire. Then it's cruise on.
Exactly. But want to thank everybody for joining us on here tonight. It's always a bunch of fun just to get on here and joke and laugh and everything like that. And any jokes we make, hot pocket jokes or wrestling jokes, it's all just jokes.
Yes.
It is just all jokes and it's all fun. And please nobody take anything serious because we're not being serious. Not about the joking stuff. Cool stuff, yes.
Everyone have an awesome week. Great show. Thanks for the live.
I know. Thank you guys for being here. As I said, this is absolutely one of the best things that we do on the show is getting on here and interacting. So we're 43 days from being able to actually interact in person with some of you guys, with Rick, with James. So we're really looking forward to that as well. So we can actually put faces to names.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Keep up with our lives.
Yes.
We'll be back next week. And you know what? I'm going to throw an invitation out there.
Okay.
How about an invitation? If, especially if you have like a travel channel, a cruising channel on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook, it's got to be family friendly and all that kind of good stuff that we do on our show. But you want to join us on a live, maybe have some people come on a live, we'll throw that out there. Send me an email, let me know. You shoot me an email, you can grab me on Facebook, something like that. I know we have some of the other travel channels that like to pop in and out every once in a while, but if you'd like to come on and be on a live with us, say hi to everybody more interactively, get with us. We can probably maybe have some guest appearances every once in a while.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think that would be really fun, right?
Yeah.
Get some more interaction and talk to some other folks. So I will throw that out there as well for anybody that is interested.
Tell us as wrestling jokes.
That is exactly what my grandpa used to call it. My grandpa used to be like, yeah, wrestling's on. Yep.
Thanks for Chris and Tiff for another great show. Don't forget, thanks for the show. We are spending our children's inheritance on one cruise at a time.
You know what? They can get jobs. All right.
I love it.
That's what I told mine. I said, you're fine. You can get a job. You'll be right. All right. But thank you, everybody. As I said, we always appreciate you guys being here. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. If you haven't done so, do me a favor and hit that like button. Let's see how many likes we can get going on for tonight. Thank you for everybody being here. And like always,
we'll see you out on the high seas.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.